All right, good evening, viewers out there, and thank you for joining us live at Cobden People's Parliament, where we dissect socio-political issues as affect Nigerian people. Tonight, we'll be looking at a number of issues, starting with Julius Malema's visit to Enugu, where the Nigeria Bar Association, the NBA, had an annual general meeting. Tonight, we'll be looking at quite trendy stories. Alonso, please, can you mute your mic?
Okay, all right.
So we'll be looking at some trendy stories as affect the Nigerian people, ranging from a series of headlines that have been so enlightened for tonight's discussion. While we await a number of guests to join us in this discussion, tonight we are looking at item number one, which of course is Julius Malema, who visited Nigeria with his economic justice vision. Of course, the episode for tonight is Julius Malema's rousing speech of Pan-Africanism migration at NBA AGM Enugu 2025. That was the episode for tonight. We'll be looking at what his speech entails. On trending stories tonight, police/road safety call brutality in Nigeria. Police/road safety call brutality in Nigeria. Then number two, of course, is Julius Malema's message of Pan-African economic liberation at NBA AGM 2025. And number three, we are looking at 2027, setting the agenda for political engagement. And of course, number four on the item is I'm not desperate to be president, that according to Atiku. I'm not desperate to be president, according to Atiku. Then number five, which is the last for the day, is ADC AMAC chairmanship candidate Dr. Mo's visit. Dr. Mo, of course, over the weekend, paid a condolence visit to the late Mamadou Dor Azuka, who passed on at Urozu just last week. So the ADC chairmanship candidate for Abuja Municipal Area Council, Dr. Mo, whose actual name is Dr. Moses Paul, paid his courtesy, his condolence visit to the family of the bereaved to condole them in this trying and grieving moments. So tonight with me in the studio is Malam Al-Hassan Obaka. Malam Al-Hassan Obaka is councillorship aspirant for Wagwa Ward, of course, under the Abuja Municipal Area Council. Malam Al-Hassan, you're welcome to Cobden People's Parliament, and we're glad to have you join us tonight. Malam Al-Hassan, you're available? Thank you for joining us tonight. All right, depending when you'll be able to contribute to the program, I'll be hitting the ground running already. So we are looking at the content, right? Julius Malema is a member of the parliament all the way from South Africa. He flew in on invitation by the Nigerian Bar Association for their regular annual general meeting, where they have a discussion around Africa and its survival. Of course, Julius Malema delivered a very rousing speech that gave him a very standing ovation. He arose the spirit of the Pan-African among the Nigerian Bar Association, and of course, nationwide. He has arose interest across Nigerians who have applauded his speech and the contents that were inherent in his speech. Part of the speech where he delivered was that he emphasized on the critical role played by the Nigerian government in helping our sister country, South Africa, at the time of need. Yeah, the late President Mohamed, of course, was very prompt in leading the Nigerian delegation to South Africa, emphasizing that it is enough. It is enough for all the apartheid regime to go and give room for the government of the people, which of course led to the emergence of Nelson Mandela, who became the first civilian president of South Africa. And of course, he went on and on to discuss how the apartheid regime shortchanged the people of South Africa, particularly the blacks in South Africa, who were shortchanged in their own ancestral land. They have no access to their father's land to be able to embark on farming, for instance, and how the white supremacists dominated the economic activities of South Africa. So his fight under the EFF is centered on the economic liberation of the black South African people. Of course, one will not shy away from the fact that he has been somehow cruel in his approach by, emphasizing the need for the blacks to harm the whites and, of course, take over what rightfully belongs to them. That is one of the approach that many of us may not agree with. But his message is centered on liberation of the African race, whichever part of the planet that the black people exist. His message resonates among the black people across the world that the blacks are being shortchanged, even in their own father's land. He gave an example how the liberation of Africa will not come from America, neither will they come from Beijing, neither will they come from all the corners of the world, but it has to come from Africa, where African countries to begin to do business together, where Africans do not need visa to travel to fellow African countries. He also condemned the xenophobia reign that led to the killing of many Nigerian, of course, or other African nationals. He condemned it in totality, and he emphasized that that was a displacement of priority, that the common enemy of the black race is not the black man, but the white supremacists who feel he is superior to the black race. That was the center of his message at Enugu, and he emphasized that Johannesburg and Lagos will be, the center point of the liberation of the African race, and not in Beijing or in America, as some would always alluded. And of course, he emphasized the need to have the made in African products being patronized by the African people. So these are some of the chunk of the message that dominates his speech at the NBA AGM meeting at Enugu State. And he was very elated as he was being welcomed by the massive crowd gathered at the event. So tonight, these are some of the issues that we're discussing on Covenant People's Parliament. Before I open the mic for our Zoom panelists, I also want us to take a look at some of the key messages that was delivered by Julius Malema, where he emphasized on economic freedom. Economic freedom. All his message was centered on the economic liberation of Africa. That Africa is blessed with abundant resources, and Africans are seen all over the world begging and doing menial jobs, something they find it difficult to understand. Why a Nigerian, for instance, we have to travel to Europe to be able to have a living. He expected that a Nigerian with the abundant oil resources, with the abundant mineral resources, the abundant human resources, should be able to fend for herself, should be able to produce for herself, should be able to take care of her own goal, our own aspiration, without necessarily waiting for the European interference, the neo-colonialists, coming to have their way in their affairs of the country. So these are some of the things. And he emphasized clearly that Trump should step aside and allow the African people to decide for themselves. He also went further to condemn Israel's invasion of Gaza, how they have killed children, women, and the underage in the needless war that is going on in the Middle East currently. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we believe about. And the need for the rule of law. He emphasized how lawyers play a very critical role in democracy, that they are in the parliament making this law, and it is the role and the responsibility of the lawyers to be able to give a meaningful interpretation to some of these laws that have been made at the parliament. And he emphasized the need for having the rule of law taking the center stage of the judiciary of every nation before it can achieve development. I particularly, I feel very happy listening to Julius Malema. Mr. Hassan, are you available to speak? Or I think Mr. Lee Sunday. Thank you for joining the program post-mortem. You can please unmute, given the number of topics that we have for tonight, you can unmute and have the discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Mr.
Akko. Yes, where do I start from here right now? Like, I don't know the analysis on the
start with.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, let me just take number 4. Let me start from there. I am not desperate to be president. Atiku Abubakar. Yeah. Okay. You see, anyway, I want to say that I don't really know what it meant by that. But we all understand the English you have spoken. So he's not desperate. If he's not desperate, he will have come up and say, okay, at least I'll be contesting for so many, I've contested for so many times that I've lost election and I'm getting old. At least we have younger ones that could be able to do this job even better than I. Why can't I support these people? Expect him to come in that, in that regard, in that aspect. But now he's saying that he's not desperate. So you are not desperate, and you are sponsoring your boys that is working for you. People have started, campaigning underground, not even underground, coming up openly, just like the way this man that is in power, Tinubu, is still doing. At this very time, they started, that one have even started campaigning openly, putting billboard everywhere. But you two, you are just still doing your own. You still want to come. Why can't you allow your people to know that at least I have contested so many times? You come and let me support you. And you are coming here, you are telling us that you are not desperate to be president just because you had some other people saying it, and you two, you are coming that way. So that is not the way. You are a leader. It's a leader supposed to have retired by now. It's not by force that somebody must become president. If you step down at this time, this is the time you have to be honored. People will give him that honor for life. And politicians don't look at that angle. It's not, it must be me, must be me, must be me at all time. That is why some issue are even coming up in that coalition that is going on. At least somebody like him now, he have done well. He have done well in the past. He have tried. Peter Obi is there. Other people are there. Hand over this power to these people. Let them do it. So that is my submission on that.
Yes, in respect to that, he has already made declaration for 2027. I understand that he has declared interest to run for the ADC primaries. That's the updates.
Yes, he is going to run, right? That is, he is going to run. He wants to run for ADC primary.
He has declared interest for the ADC.
Yeah. So And I read something this evening. It said somebody I will support in 2027. You know, that is somebody that wins the ADC primaries. That is the person is going to support. Meanwhile, himself is contesting for that primary.
Hmm.
Am I correct?
Yes, of course, he is declared today.
Yeah, so he's contesting. So I'm just expecting him to have even stepped down, not to even show interest in coming, on the platform, on the ballot this time around. So that
The
is it
problem is
on that.
the problem is that Nigerian politicians are shameless, like you rightly said. Atiku Abubakar contested against Moshood Abiola in 1993. Atiku Abubakar contested against, he contested alongside Obasanjo as vice presidential candidate. If not for that, of course, I believe he would have contested against Obasanjo if they were not on the same ticket. He contested against Yaradua in 2007. He contested, he contested against Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan in 2011. He contested against Buhari 2015. He contested against Tinubu 2023. Then in 2027, he still want to contest. And this the same man coming out to say he's not desperate. I find it difficult.
Let that man just relax. At least that is just it, my brother. So this police road safety called brutality in Nigeria. Well, we have been watching. Me as a person actually, I've been watching some videos. I don't know. I believe that is what we are referring to here.
Yes,
The way
yes, there have been trending videos. There have been trending videos where a road safety call marshal was seen manhandling, beating someone, supposedly a driver, for God, only God knows the reason why. So, and lucky enough for the driver, he got somebody who was able to capture the video. Of course, they would have denied. So, and again, while this is also was going on, there were previous cases where police was also seen brutalizing a Nigerian, and he was being covered. So it has become a trend, a norm in the security circle where they brutalize Nigerians and they go ahead to say nothing will happen. So that's the junction we are.
Yes, I watched the video and saw it. I saw it, and the road safety that was beating the guy, I think about two of them that was beating the guy at the same time. That the guy was, standing in front of lying down on their bonnet, So we don't actually know, although no matter what the guy might have done, but I'm looking at it that probably the guy particulars have been seized maybe one way or the other. I'm just looking at it in that way. I don't know, until until we get what transpired.
Yes,
So
I like that they seized the car key and made away with the car. So the only way to guard against them disappearing from the scene was to stay in the front of the vehicle. That's what transpired.
Okay, you see, if that is what transpired, even no matter what might have happened in the first place, they don't have that right to beat anyone. They are the road safety. They are the one that is safeguarding the road. And if anything happens, and the person maybe he doesn't have paper, or the paper have expired, at least you have to do your work and arrest this person gently, take this person to your office and follow up the what you ought to be done. So not by beating anybody. not by beating
Yes.
any Nigerian,
Again,
not by taking
again,
law into
in the
their
eyes
hands.
of the law, in the eyes of the law, that's an assault.
It's an
All right.
assault, yes, yes,
It's manhandling.
yes,
Again, driving away his car when the driver is not in, the owner of the car is not in, breaking of the law on its own.
It's
Because
attempt,
the
that
driver
is attempt,
claim any amount is in the vehicle that you made away with, and you
that is
cannot
attempt,
deny it.
it's
He can
attempt
claim he
robbery.
has millions of naira in his boot that was, made away with, and you cannot deny
Yes,
it.
yes,
I don't know
yes.
the trainers who are training these Nigerian security forces.
I don't know. A lot of things have been happening. At least some if okay, what of somebody that will go and use somebody that is not even a road safety that will go and put on the uniform of road safety and
Mm.
stop you and snatch your car and run away or something like that. So if you can drive somebody's vehicle away, that is attempt robbery. They have
Yeah,
taken law into their hands. They don't need to go to that length. Apprehend somebody, arrest somebody, and take that person, no matter the crime they have committed on the road, take the person who doesn't have driver license or who doesn't have paper or expired, anyone that have happened, fine. As far as that person is not an armed robber, is the one driving, maybe it's the owner of the vehicle or somebody gave him to drive, take the person to the office. Then let the person complete the document and let him go. So why are you now beating the person and you are driving his vehicle and as if you want to run away with the vehicle? Very, very unfortunate. Our security agency are not doing the right thing, and I think this government need to look into it and and correct them. I think they have a leader. Thank God the video have exposed all over the place. So let this thing
yes.
to
In advance, in other climes, what we have is situation when there is traffic violation. There's camera that screen graph the number plates of this vehicle, and they are tracked to their home. You just paste the sticker, they pay. But here in the country, you have a situation where they chase after, traffic offenders as if they are armed robbers. It's very sad situation here.
it's very, very
One
sad.
expect that the road safety ought to have developed. They ought to have developed in terms of deployment of technology to help them carry out their tasks. But here we are.
It's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. Very, very sad. The way and manner which our security agencies are doing things in this country, in fact, it's just like as if they did not pass through their training. I don't know. I don't know how they were trained, but at least we go to some other country, even Africa country. I traveled to Togo sometimes ago, by road. In fact, when from Republic of Benin to Togo, look at how people are respecting their police. How the police are trained. They don't harass anybody. Even they don't stay on the main road. When we are traveling through highway from Republic of Benin to Togo, you see you don't see you don't even see them. They are inside the bush. They blow whistle. When they blow whistle, the vehicle will stop. That is how they operate there. And they will come out, check, they will ask you to go. So they don't beat anybody. Although if you are a driver, you don't stop and they track your vehicle, that is the offense. We know they will take very seriously over there. But here, the way Amana, our police officers are collecting bribe and all of that, they ask for money, they don't give them money, it's an offense. They can even start beating you. They can even be threatening you, pointing their gun at you. We have saw so many videos like that
There are
you know.
people that have been killed at gunpoint for supposed
So yes, which is very, very bad. I know Nigeria, we need to upgrade more than where we are. Just as so to say, it's just as if we are seeing the dark. Nigeria, the giant of Africa that we used to know. The giant of Africa is very saddening that we are seeing, we are still in this stage. You know, we are still we are not lacking behind. We are behind. Other African countries are not even ahead of us because of the kind of leaders we are having in our land. The leader that doesn't care about the people. In Nigeria today, we have over 200 million people, and about 100 Nigerians are facing poverty. And the government, just very few leaders, few. If you put all leaders in Nigeria together, all, both at the federal, at the state, at the local governments, put all of them together, they are not up to 1 million.
They are not.
They are not. So those are the only people who care for themselves.
They are not even up to even 20,000.
As you can see. So they are just after themselves. They did not even think of, okay, how do we plan? How do we take Nigeria from here, where we are, to the next level? How do we restructure our security agencies? How do we do all this, and so that Nigeria will be great again? None of them is taking that direction. We're just thinking of how do we embezzle money? How do we steal money? How do we do this? How do we involve ourselves in high corruption? So those are the things. So all these things, we need to get it right. We need to get it right. The president, by special grace of God, the president we must elect 2027. Everybody must sit tight. Let's elect somebody that will always be thinking of the masses. Somebody that will always be thinking of how will our children go to school? How do we face the security? How do we restructure the entire security system? So those are the leaders we need this time around. Because the ones that are there today, so to say, they are just like motor park politicians. I'm seeing all over the place. People that does not care. People that nobody present, they are praising themselves. That they have done this and they have done that. They have constructed Lagos Calabar coastal roads that they commissioned how many kilometers the other day? 27 or thereabouts. Now they are praising themselves. Nigeria is not working. I keep saying Nigeria is not working. I'm not the only one saying this. Everybody see this. And people are still following them. People are still following this set of people. Continue to say, let's support this man. Is the man. Imagine. Which time our mumu go do? What time? Eh? So, my brother, those are the things. So, Nigeria
Thank
need to
you.
change.
Thank you. Of course, Nigeria has to change. I was in a discussion with someone, and it was like, PO need to do this, PO need to do that. I said, yes, quite agree. But then it's high time we stop seeing it from that direction. Because whether PO wins 2027 or otherwise, it doesn't stop him from eating 3 times in a day or living any form of luxury life that is so desired. As you can see, his son is already made wherever he is in Europe. I mean, he's living his independent life as an actor. So the concentration should not be about you are trying to help you, but then you look at it as a liberation struggle being taken by yourself, not in the context that you're trying to help you. And people need to do something, they need to mobilize this. Yes, he's a private citizen. And he has said it that he's not desperate to be president. He only want to make himself available, providing the option for the masses. and he is desperate to see the country works. He is very consistent about this. And it's high time for Nigerians to actually still rally around him in 2027, ensure that we're able to protect the votes against any form of manipulation. The known and the unknown form of manipulation will guide against it and ensure that no rigging on 2027. So that's it for me. And Mr. Debe, you have a closing remark?
Okay. Closing remark? Okay, can we close it right now? Okay.
We are done for the day.
Yes, I want to, advise Nigeria to choose their president right in 2027. As for me, I am not campaigning. I don't know any of these people. I have not met them before. But let's follow somebody that has integrity, somebody that has good character, somebody that we know. We know all these people are antecedents, in the past. We know somebody that can move this Nigeria from grass to grace. Peter Obi is the man that can lead us right. That is why some of us want to be like him. We want to, I, I told my wife the other day, I said, if I contest election and I win, I don't have anything to do with the public forum. Why? Because I want to be like Peter Obi. My wife said, that is true. That is why people love Peter Obi today, because he did not steal people money. So by the time you start to steal people money, you will lose it all. EFCC will even be looking for you, and your name will destroy everywhere. And it will also affect your community negatively. So let's support the right man that can lead us. And I also appeal to the youth to come on board and join a party to move this party that will kill Nigeria out of office. People should come and join ADC. The youth should contest election. We need youth to contest election, most especially at the National Assembly, at the State House of Assembly. Let them come so that all these old politicians, those looters, should leave office and let the youth take over their country. Look at the people that have ruled Nigeria in the past. How old was Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe during that time? Obafemi Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, Tafawa Balewa, even Antonio Nahoro, that that was among them that time, was very, very young. And all these people, they fought for us during the independence. And most of them were in power after that. And Nigeria currency was the highest currency in the whole world. It was about 60 something kobo, from 50 something kobo to 60 something kobo to $1. Currency began to destroy during the time of Babangida until now. Please, I also encourage the people, both the youths and all Nigerians, to go and register for their PVC. That is the power. If you don't have PVC, you don't have mouth to talk. If you don't have PVC, you are the problem of Nigeria. It does not concern me. I'm not going to vote for anybody. You are the problem of Nigeria. Let everyone go and pick PVC. The time is now. Let's register now and vote for our man that can lead us to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you for that closing remark. Of course, everyone out there, you are encouraged to go get your PVC so that you'll be eligible to vote on 2027. Sitting on the fence and alluding that the election will not count. You are part of the problem. You vote that do not count. You sit at home and you are praying, saying God will do it. God is not a voter. God has created you and I to take our destiny in our hands and build a nation that we can be proud of. For me in the studio, I name is Atiku Christian Oche, and I have with me on Zoom Comrade Odego Sunday. Thank you for joining tonight, and God bless you all. Viewers, thank you. Have a wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.